Good afternoon. It is December 22nd, 2025. We're listening to a little column A, little column B, hosted by Will Lemos and co-hosted by Zach Bishop. How are you doing today, buddy?
What is going on, Will? Do you hear that? Does everybody hear that? The Patriots are back. Little hiatus. We had a little bit of a lull, a couple of rough years. We are back. There's still games to be played. We've already locked in that we are in the playoffs. There's a good chance that there's going to be a home in Foxborough Patriots game. You were doubtful. I think I wasn't nearly thinking as far as stuff that we were going to win this. But what are you thinking now? What are you thinking now? Are you excited? What's up?
What am I supposed to feel? All right, we've seen enough football this year, right? How many games do you want to play? There's nothing left in the season that should change your opinion, right? What more do you need to see? So where do we stand, Zach?
We have a shot at the 1 seed.
And who is the 1 seed right now? Just so we can full spectrum here.
Bailout Bo.
Did they win this week?
They did not.
Wow. All right. They didn't even win this week, and they're the 1 seed. Jesus. It just feels like everyone else screwed up. And it's not even that we don't deserve it. I want to give us credit, but it definitely feels like the rest of the class failed, and we just turned it in on time. Here we are, and we should feel good about it. You should feel real good about it, because I look around and nobody's left. We're left. We're surviving.
We're there.
We're right here.
We're there. We got to survive. You got to play who's on your schedule. I had a super soft schedule. Then we luck out last night where Lamar gets hurt mid-game, so Huntley comes in, and then he is still kind of doing pretty well. But then bizarrely in the fourth quarter, they score quick. They go up 10, and then they don't give it back to Derrick Henry the rest of the game. He doesn't get a single carry. I'm not saying that he was running all over us, but we definitely were. I think we're having trouble where usually Derrick Henry, as he goes, I don't know if he gets stronger, but you just get tired of tackling him. So I'm just surprised that they didn't run him at all. I was glad as a Patriot fan.
Wait, hold on.
Even with Lamar getting hurt, the defense was still fine. And so that's Drake Maye with a comeback. So he doesn't do it every time, but I think this is like a check in the box of, hey, you got to be able to come back in the fourth quarter. And we were down double digits, and he was able to do that.
Very true. All true. I just one Derrick Henry question, just real quick. Did he have a fumble that game? He had a fumble last night.
He did have a fumble.
He did, right? He had a fumble, right? All right. Now,
yeah.
I don't know. Can we rewind? What week you want me to pick? Did Derrick Henry have a fumble and maybe cost them in the fourth quarter? And here we are. They're in the fourth quarter, and they're choosing not to go to him. You're telling me that can't be in the back of their minds, even the slightest bit, even though it's like, yes, it's Derrick Henry, and he was having a good game, but he did fumble. I don't think it's just questionable of a decision as everyone's treating it. I think it's at what point do we learn the fumble security is an issue and you don't act on it? Like at what point it's on you? They acted on it.
I mean, they must have done something. I don't think you don't play someone like Derrick Henry by accident for an entire quarter. It wasn't one. Sometimes there's one drive and then you look back and it's just like, oh well, why didn't he go? But if you went like play by play, you could figure it out of, oh, well, he was in on this one, but he was a decoy. You could pick it out. But for almost the whole quarter, I think it was 12 minutes.
It was too long. It wasn't a rational length. I'll give you that. No one else would have made that decision, even with the argument of the fumble history. No one else would have still made the decision. So the fact that they are doing it with their own asset, it's questionable. I don't know what else to say. But for the Pats, you think it really would have made that much of a difference? I'd like to think we had the big play when we needed it every single time, and they just didn't.
I just want it on the record. It didn't impact us at all. But that defensive pass interference, I think it was so bad that all the refs just assumed that someone else was going to call it, and then before, it was too late somehow. But
it's not too late.
He was all over him, and then he tackled him. It was one of the more obscene misses of a call this season for sure. But I don't want to note it so much for, hey, the refs make a mistake, that happens. But just everyone saying, we've been hearing it for a long time. Oh yeah, the Tom Brady Patriots, they get all the calls. Look at that right there. that was a call going against us, and we are a good team. And when you're a good team, when the refs make a bad call against you, you just lock in, you focus, and you overcome. And that's what we did. We locked in, we focused, we overcame, and Drake still had an absolute bomb down the sideline. He did not have a great game. He for sure made a bunch of mistakes. Red zone turnovers, 2 red zone turnovers. That kind of was bringing me back to the beginning of the year where, specifically that Steelers game where we should have won by double digits, maybe 20 points, but we kept fumbling and messing up in the red zone. Just so many points left on the board.
Are we doing things for the record? Can I do something for the record?
Sure.
I didn't miss any of the bets last week.
Woof. There you go. I was good. Yeah, I got the Patriots money line, and for the official one, you had the Jacksonville money line. I know you must have hated it, but you still winning money. That's always good.
It was all plus money. Everything was good. The only one I technically didn't win, but it was a push, was the Pats to be up at halftime, and it was tied. So I didn't lose. I didn't win either, but I didn't lose any of the other ones. So the other ones were winners. Not going to have many weeks like that, all right? I hand these out. Yeah. I try to find the ones I like. I try to find ones that are good value, too. The crazy thing of hitting all of them was like they were all plus money. Not crazy plus money, but
they weren't even favorites. That's even harder.
It's never going to happen again. So just wanted that on the record, that we do hand these out, and sometimes we're good. My picks weren't so great. My picks were all right. I think they were better than your picks, but neither of them were great.
No, a lot of wonky things happened this week.
It's impossible to trust anything. And we do these picks now. The games are so far away. That's the other crazy thing about these bets, too. All the bets we hit, we put them in now. And so sometimes, yours is playing. I didn't know that. They benched Tua. Like, things happen from now till then. I don't know what's going to happen this week, but it feels like something crazy has been happening every week. The Cowboys at the Washington Commanders is going to be Thursday, holiday week. We're going to be on a different network. Is it even a network? It's a streaming service. We're going to be on Netflix. That's already its own adventure, but this was a pretty sad previous week for the Cowboys as they were not able to defeat the Los Angeles Chargers. Something I think I had. I think that was a bet I had. I think I won on that one. What's crazy to me here is this is still being walked away from as like a pretty good Pickens game in my memory. Is that crazy to say? They had like no chance of winning this game, but it's a pretty good Pickens game?
Yeah, I think Pickens played well.
Yeah. Won't blame him. I don't know what you do blame. Is it entirely the defense? And they'll be facing Washington this week, so maybe that won't be a problem. Can Dallas get a win this week?
I think Dallas will get a win. It's because they're going against the Commanders. Not sure about Marcus Mariota right now, so it might be a Josh Johnson starting. Cowboys are basically out. They have to win their next 2 games and have to have a bunch of things kind of go their way, so that's not great for them. I know this isn't exactly how, the world works, but I feel like Goodell and the NFL kind of getting a little bit of karma where they, a few years ago said, we're not going to play always on Christmas, only like if it lines up. And then they decided, actually, we don't care what day Christmas is on. We're going to try to steal it from the NBA. And then this year, if you looked at it before the season started, makes total sense. These are probably going to be some good teams. We got some, division rivalries. These are all bad. This
is a terrible game. I'll take the Cowboys as well. I have 2 bets that I'm shocked were plus money that I think are just locks to happen here. I think Pickens is a lock for a touchdown. Anytime touchdown for Pickens, that's plus 135 is what I found for it. That's easy. Who's stopping that? And who says no? He's just adding to the stats at this point. The other guy adding to his stats that even if it is kind of a sad day and it is another slow day for Dallas, where they only had 17 points this past week, it's a lot of Aubrey. Aubrey, the kicker. I think he's going to have over 2.5 field goals. That's plus 160. So 3 field goals for Aubrey. It's going to be a sad Christmas showing. But I'm only telling you these picks so you can have something to root for, because there is not going to be much to root for in this 1:00 game on Netflix, which is already going to throw everyone off. How many people are going to turn this game on and they're going to put on cable?
Yeah, looking for it on TV.
And it's not going to be there.
It's not going to be there. Yeah, my bet this week is also this game. I am going with Dallas, Washington under 55.5. Oh, actually, no, it's 50. Excuse me, 50.5.
Oof. Trying to find something out of that 1:00 game. All right, next game, Detroit Lions at the Minnesota Vikings. This is also Thursday, Netflix game, 4:30. The Detroit ending. I wrote controversial ending to a lot of games in all of it. Is this the most controversial ending of the weekend? Has anyone explained it to you yet? Do you need a YouTube breakdown to maybe what happened?
See, it was weird because it took so long for the referees to announce anything, and they didn't go to replay. It was just them talking for what seemed like minutes. I don't think it was really that long, but it was longer than normal. And the way that they revealed what they were saying was just really misleading. Of starting with, it's a touchdown on the field, that's the call. But however, and then it's offensive pass interference. Game is over. I think based on what happened, the right team won because I feel like we've seen forward progress called way before that. He was definitely stopped short of the goal line, and then he was back 5 yards, and it wasn't he made this move. He was in the arms, and then he made a great toss to make that happen. But I was surprised. I would have thought if they reviewed it and, it was, you could review and call whatever was going to happen. It's like, all right, it was already offensive pass interference, and it would have been, and even if there wasn't offensive pass interference, it still would have been, he was short of the goal line, forward progress was stopped, game over.
The right call was made. The controversy was in the announcement and more in the pattern of the announcements that were made. I think that was avoidable, and I don't know how you prepare for that. That's hard on the ref. I think in your mind, you're like, these are the things I need to say, and I don't know how you prepare. They talk for long enough that they probably should have said, maybe don't say it the way they ultimately said it. But that being said, the reason Detroit lost this is they were, what was it, on the third, fourth string center at one point in this game? I mean, and that was hardly just the only injury that they had. They couldn't get a stop, or they couldn't score. I mean, these are two issues you're going to have. But so the ending is more of a miracle that they almost did win the game, and that they have almost one finger to point at. But I mean, ultimately, it was on a whole bunch of other things completely out of their control. I don't know how you do these injuries. I imagine they'll bounce back. Minnesota won a pretty ugly game against the Giants last week, and this certainly lines up as another ugly game. Do you think Minnesota has any chance of winning one more ugly game on a holiday Thursday?
I don't think so. Disaster of a season for the Lions. Thinking, hey, last year, if we were just healthy, and then this year they did stay healthy, but just couldn't get the wins, that they needed. I think they have a very slim chance of making the playoffs, but I still think that they're better than the Vikings. I believe that JJ McCarthy is hurt, so we're going to have another backup that's coming in here. So you know what? Maybe people should be checking out what's on the old basketball schedule this Christmas.
It'll be a lot easier to access. I'll say that. You won't have to share some passwords or do anything else. But as a bet for this game, and it's not a fun one. I don't like doing this, especially if you're bored and you can't find anything else to watch. But I think the first half under 22.5 plus 105 is just an easy thing with what Minnesota's defense has been doing the last couple of weeks and how slow Detroit's getting off and whatever quarterback Minnesota is going to be putting out there. Nobody's going anywhere in this first half. We're just going to be stuck in the mud. Maybe the second half, Detroit seems to wake up a little bit more, but I don't see how we go over. And unfortunately, that's not very must-watch TV, but maybe basketball will be entertaining, like you said. But so we both got Detroit in this one. Merry Christmas. We'll do NBA later, right? We got better games.
Yes.
Next game, Denver Broncos at the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, Bo throws a good ball. Like when it works, when it just looks good, it's in stride, and then at times I don't know why this team just can't get first downs. I mean, even Harvey had a good game here. They couldn't stop Jacksonville and they couldn't keep up with Jacksonville, and yet here is the 1 seed. This is the team we are all chasing. They're gonna play whatever's left over of Kansas City, which was not much after last week. I mean, if someone tears their ACL for Kansas City this week, do we change something? Do we do something differently? Do we stop calling them the Chiefs? Like, what sort of change would you make if the quarterback that goes out for the Chiefs this week tears his ACL?
Well, got some updates today. Minshew actually didn't tear his ACL. ACL is intact. He's still going to be out for a while, so probably done for the season because there's only 2 weeks left. But that has just got to be rough. Your season ends. Your franchise quarterback, multi Super Bowl MVP, awesome, gets hurt, and then the next week it's like can't we just have Minshew? Can't we just have a little Minshew mania? Even if you figure you play the Titans, like all right, we'll at least beat the Titans. Nope, not true. And Minshew gets hurt. Just really unfortunate. It's got to be really sad. As well as I don't know how much this impacts things, but news also came out today that the Chiefs will be moving to Kansas from Missouri starting in 2031.
Long way down the road. I got a bet for this one.
It's I'm not sure. I haven't really heard if this is a big deal or if this is not really a big deal because I think it's like just like basically across the river. So I don't think it has nearly as big an impact as the Bears are threatening to move to Indiana, which seems a lot more drastic. But I don't know. There might be some really sad Chiefs fans in your life, so keep an eye out.
This isn't going to feel better. I don't have good news. I have a bet. Denver defense, anytime touchdown, plus 650. You don't even know who the quarterback's going to be of this team. Why would you not take the Denver defense to get a touchdown? If there was a game, they were going to get it. No?
I like it.
Next game, Houston Texans at the Los Angeles Chargers.
That's my lock of the week is the Broncos.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, who blames you on that one? Houston has a problem. Houston Texans at the Los Angeles Chargers. This was a struggle for Houston. They almost lost to the Raiders, and I'll give them credit, but I mean, they got lit up by Genty and could have easily lost that game. I thought the Chargers beat the Cowboys a little bit more confidently. I mean, say what you want about all that, but what's scarier right now is that the Chargers are winning and that you might have to trust them again, Zach. What are you doing this week?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers at home.
Oh, wow.
I don't think that they're going to be afraid of the Texans. Texans have won 7 in a row. And I mean, you saw they play against the Raiders, and it was pretty close. I mean, for sure they won, but I thought Genty looked really good, and I think that the Chargers can put together something. And at home, I think that they got a good chance to win.
I want to like the Houston defense. I want to trust it. I'll see what they do this week, but I don't think they have any chance against the Chargers. I think this is going to be an easy Charger one. I got another bet: Amari and Hampton anytime touchdown, plus 135. I thought Hampton had a really good game. Genty just lit up the Texans. You're telling me Hampton's not going to get a touchdown? That sounds pretty good for me. I don't like trusting the Chargers, though, Zach. Are we sure? I mean, they keep winning. I can't deny it. There's another team that keeps winning that I can't deny either, but this is another one where I don't feel good about it. And I look across that I'd kind of nominated Houston as the dark horse for a while here, and then they won last week. They didn't even lose. It's just how they won. We don't like them now anymore. Are we cooling off on them a little too quick?
No, I don't think so much of a cool off. I just think the Chargers like in a good spot, and there's maybe a little bit of an emotional hedge here because the Chargers have an outside chance to still get the number 1 seed.
Something to play for. I assume it matters.
Yep.
All right, next game, Baltimore Ravens at the Green Bay Packers. Everyone kept saying that like the Huntley came and played well, and that they were like the same level as Lamar. Lamar was awesome at the start of this game. My the only one who remembers that there was laser passes. He was sharp. It was quick. He seemed focused. He was hitting passes on the run. I was terrified of Lamar at the start of this game, and nobody seems to remember all that because Huntley came in, and the Patriots really struggled with Huntley, and maybe that says more about the Patriots, but I just thought Lamar was really good at the beginning of the game, and I just thought that needed to be said because I don't think anyone else is saying that.
It wasn't even just at the beginning, and maybe this is a little bit why he got hurt, but they started to run him with the option, and I was really scared about that because like, oh no, like this is just they're unlocking another weapon here where I don't think Lamar has done it too much this year, but we've definitely seen it in the past, and now you're kind of getting to all these Ravens games or playoff games for them. And we were going to be like the sacrificial lamb of, all right, yeah, now try to figure out if he's handing it off to Derrick Henry or if he's going to run with it and then try to tackle him.
Now, why did the Ravens lose the game then? You were blaming it on the Henry or his coaching decisions? It's as if they just ran the ball in better position? I mean, some credit can go to the Pats, and we'll get to it when we get to them. We can get even more detail with them. But for now, why did the Ravens not win this game?
Because they had to go against Drake Maye.
All right, so it had very like everyone's pointing fingers at everything it had around in Baltimore over there. It had nothing to do with them. They ran into the New England Patriots, who are currently tied for the 1 seed and ranked the 2nd seed. Like that might be just a good team. That's just better than them. There's just a rough season for Baltimore, and I don't know if this week's going to get any
And
easier.
like you said, it doesn't help when your starting quarterback gets hurt.
It doesn't. It didn't help that Huntley wasn't much of a step down. Like he's played well. Like at least the Pats continue to struggle with Huntley still. Green Bay, this was madness. I don't understand what happened. Are the Bears allowed to be on the winning side of chaos? Are we sure we want to live in that world?
Unreal ending to Saturday night after some of the college games weren't really maybe so exciting, and Eagles Commanders, it's the Commanders. It was nice to have a game that was just chaos down the end and goes into overtime, and it wasn't an overtime ending of both teams get the ball and then one team makes it just over the midfield and kicks a long field goal, and it's like, wow, look at this kicker. His kickers are awesome. It was an absolute bomb from Caleb Williams. Awesome throw. Very exciting football game.
It was a fumble. It was a turnover. It was an onside kick. It was a string of miraculous things that you're like, well, all we got to do is just this. And you're like, well, that'll never happen. And then it happened. And then it happened again. And somehow the Packers still lost. Now, this isn't that impressive of a game here, right? We got a 16-22 kind of final score. Packers got to play a lot better to be in a better position about all of this. But it's also that I feel they could have easily won the game if 3 things had just bounced their way, which likely would have bounced their way if they play them back and do them all over again. So I'm not hitting the panic button on them. That being said, it's also been really not that great of a showing by them. I thought Baltimore competed better with New England than they competed with the Bears, and it's still not that great. I mean, Bears, again, it took overtime for them to break 20. Who you got this week? You going to trust Green Bay or the struggling Baltimore Ravens?
I'm going to trust Green Bay. Sounds like Lamar's playing, but clearly pretty banged up. I don't know if whatever exactly happened. I think it was back contusion. So I don't think in just 1 week, like that's going to feel a whole lot better. So I think he might be a little slower than normal. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Packers at home.
I got the Packers as well. That sort of chaos, it can't happen 2 weeks in a row. And if this is just a normal week, I think some things will bounce their way. Next game, Arizona Cardinals at the Cincinnati Bengals. And we're just so familiar with Jacoby Brissett. We know that he'll do just enough to keep you in the game, but not win it. It's just enough. It's almost a chance, and you're like, if we could just tweak a few things, we'd be right there. It's not going to work. Didn't work last week. I don't think it'll work this week. The Bengals, the boys are back, man. We still got it. Burrow to Higgins, a couple awesome possessions. I mean, is everyone happy again? Or are we just miserable because the season's over?
It's always fun to put up points. Every little bit going into next year, playing in Miami. It's nice and warm out. Got to start building for next year, and I think this helps. Hopefully, Burrow is a little more smiley in the press conferences.
Got to go with Cincinnati after last week. Just an absurd amount of points. Brissett just can't do that. Even if he's good Brissett of the weeks previous and not the last week. I got Cincinnati. Who you got this week?
Oh, not picking the Cardinals, so I'm going the Bengals.
Next game, Seattle Seahawks at the Carolina Panthers. I mean, another wild ending. I mean, if you hear a whistle, things are dead. And then if we go back and we're like, we screwed up, we're just ignoring whistles now at crucial points. Where am I wrong in this story here?
Wild ending. It seems like this is the way like the rules are written. So okay, this is how it is. But I think there needs to be a change. I don't know what the football solution is, but it's almost like in basketball. If maybe there was the ball's knocked away or whatever happens, and then if the whistle gets blown, it's not if someone then runs over and grabs the ball, which Chris Paul would do every time. It just all right. It's a jump ball. So I don't know what the jump ball equivalent is for football, but there has to be something of the whistle was blown. You're not supposed to keep playing once the whistle happens. So you shouldn't be rewarded for doing something once the play has been ended.
It's a game of football. There's no way anybody should be rewarded points for picking up the ball as if they were like picking up trash. Like it's just too casual. It was like it wasn't even a scoring play. Like he went to pick up the ball so they could move on to whatever they had to do next. It's clearly obvious that's what happened. It's crazy to me that there is no way to undo all this. We have all the power. We can rewatch. We could do the reviews. all the millions of dollars that invested in all this. This is the outcome that we have no control over changing. It's fine. I guess it did ultimately go into overtime, and teams did have a chance. It's just, I think it's really easy to point to that one play and be like, well, that seemed awfully convenient, and we don't get to where we get to without it. So normally I don't really like the excuses, but Seattle still gets the job done. Jackson Smith and Jigba for the win at the end. Wasn't the best Seattle game, but similar to the Patriots, I do like that they still have some big play potential, and not every team has that. Like, I don't think the Panthers have that, and maybe I'm being naive, but they're just getting the job done, and maybe Seattle's similar to that, but I like Seattle's big plays a little bit more, which is why I'm going to go with them this week. Am I disrespecting Carolina?
No, I think the Seahawks are good. The Panthers are definitely feisty and still have a chance in the AFC, or excuse me, in the NFC South. Really thought that Baker was going to take care of it, especially down the stretch, and then he absolutely does not take care of it, where they could have really put themselves in the driver's seat, and now they are behind the eight ball. But I just I don't think the Panthers are actually good. It sure seems like they're going to go into the playoffs, and I'll be interested to see who they go up against. But yeah, this week I'm taking the Seahawks.
Next game, Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. The Tomlin voodoo at its best. They are over 500 once again.
19 straight years.
Anyone want to fire him now? Can they still fire him? Is he allowed to get fired?
That's so many.
I don't know how you're going to get rid of him. This is a relationship you can't get out of. You're just locked in.
And this includes the end of Roethlisberger's career when he was not in his prime. And since then, probably this Aaron Rodgers year is the most competent quarterback that he's had.
By far.
There's been some young guys that are no longer in the league or are backups. It's very impressive.
It's just so efficient. Very, very efficient. I don't know what they did to Detroit, but it worked. There's an ugly Metcalf situation, but we don't really need to investigate that too much.
He was suspended.
Was he really? Yeah.
Suspended for the rest of the season, or for two games, the rest of the regular season.
I didn't think there was going to be any way around all that. Now there's more details and more of a story that might, like, it doesn't excuse it, but it might help understand it.
It seems like we come across this just on like I don't know how many times, but it's always the same story. It's on video. As the athlete, you can't be going over to the stands. You just can't do that. And then on the other side, as the fan, like, you also can't be antagonizing the player. And I just knew when I saw it, it's like, oh, well, DK is going to come out and say that he used, inappropriate language, and the fan's going to go, I didn't use inappropriate language. There's not really, it's a he said situation, and we don't really get anywhere. But maybe 2 games seems more than I thought. But yeah, you take a swipe at a fan, you're going to get suspended. Like, that's just, come on.
It's not good. It's not great. It's not what you want. Can't have it. Like, you just can't have it. There's no way around it. Even if you think it was deserved and justified, we can't have it. We're not allowed to do it. You get everything else. You get to make millions of dollars to play football, but you can't do that. You can't have it.
You can't. Yeah, can't hit them.
Cleveland almost won this game. Does it mean anything that they were in a game against the Buffalo Bills?
I don't know.
That's what I said. I thought about it for a while because I watched it the whole time and I didn't think they were going to win, but it was also kind of like, well, they're not out of it. Like, crazier things have happened, and Buffalo's far from a lock. Buffalo's way more confident when they're coming from behind, but any little lead, crazy things can happen.
The whole time it was just they have Josh Allen, so they're going to be fine. He's going to turn it on, but then he had that weird sack where he ran like way too far backwards. It was almost a safety. And then coming out of halftime, found out he had x-rays, and the x-rays were good. But I'm wondering if this was the Bills just not running the full offense and just saying, what's the bare minimum we can do to get out of here with a win and protect Josh?
Well, that's not going to get it done every week. The Cleveland, the pass rush, he's trying to get that record. I'm sure he'll get it this week. Poor Rodgers is just lined up for that. Maybe we could take some joy in all that. I'm still going to go with Pittsburgh this week. They just seem like the actual competent team here. Do you think he'll get the sack record? Is he going to get to Rodgers? Myles Garrett.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so.
That'll be fun. You got
Yeah,
Pittsburgh as well,
just
right?
needs the one. Yeah, yep. I guess Steelers.
Next game, New Orleans Saints at the Tennessee Titans. The Saints are way above the Jets, and that's all that matters for them. The Titans defeated Kansas City. I can't think of a worse time to say like we beat the Chiefs. Like there's just nobody cares. This is the first time in how long that nobody cares that you beat the Chiefs.
They didn't just beat them. I mean, they beat them by double digits. It wasn't even close.
Not great. I like the Saints this week. Defense looked good last week. I think we're all in on Shock. This is good. Let's build some momentum. Let's beat up on the Titans.
Yeah, yeah. Give me Shuck. Titans can get back to their tanking ways, and Saints can keep building on having Shuck, which has been fun to watch.
All right, next game: Jacksonville Jaguars at the Indianapolis Colts. A true season's greetings here. I have grievances. I have apologies to give out. This is a Festivus sort of situation here. The Jacksonville Jaguars, Zach, are a good quality football team. No notes. They have a winning style. They have offensive points. They have defensive pressure. I picked them to beat Denver. Denver is still anointed the top seed, as we mentioned earlier. Hey, now the Jacksonville Jaguars are a quality football team. What do you got to say about that?
Yeah, I think so. I really think that the root of it is that Trevor Lawrence is playing well. It's always been in there somewhere, and I was on board for a long time, and then I fell off because it's like I don't know, but he won the national championship, and it's like there's got to be something that's still in there, and then he's just figured something out recently. I don't think he's thrown an interception in a month, and he's just finding guys that he was not finding before, and it's interesting because before the season started, I don't think you would have been thinking either of these teams would have been like, all right, yeah, these are playoff teams. And then midway through, it's like, oh, the Colts, they're cruising 1 seed, but it's like, the Jaguars, like, come on, they're not for real. But then they just kept winning. And now the Colts are kind of holding on. They're going to play the 49ers tonight. And, they're on the very, cusp of making it in. So they're gonna need to win, but I don't think they're gonna be able to do it. I'm gonna go Trevor Lawrence. I think he's cruising, and I don't think that Old Man Rivers is gonna be able to be up to the task.
If Jacksonville loses this one, they're the same Jaguars. This needs to be a new era for Jacksonville. They cannot lose this game. You cannot lose to Phillip Rivers. You just can't. What I'd say is most shocking about both these teams is not necessarily that they just won. It's in the fashion that they won. Where, as you said, Trevor Lawrence has been competent. I mean, Daniel Jones was excellent up to the injury. Essentially, like that's not just a new player. The draft pick they'd had from the last couple of years was suddenly exceptional. Like anything for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're missing their draft picks. They don't have. I'm not here to badmouth, Thomas Jr. right now, but let's say what it is. It hasn't been great. He's out there. He's not out. The other guy's out. What do we got to say about that? And they're still winning.
Keep every time. Yeah. That's why I'm picking them.
All right, Jacksonville Jaguars getting a win this week. Probably another one next week. All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Miami Dolphins. This is a rough one for Baker, man. This is a rough one for Tampa. I mean, let's just forget this one. Let's erase the film. Let's just this whole season is slipping away from them, man. And there's probably a list of excuses they actually have, but they're like in striking distance of a lot of these games. And normally, or at least last year, they were stealing those striking distance games, and they're just not falling for them. And I keep falling for them, and I'm going to fall for it again this week because I can't pick Miami. I don't have an opinion on yours. Do you? Like, should we?
Florida showdown. Bucks need to win to keep any hope alive. Dolphins have been out for a while. I think the Bucks, this is it.
Gotta win this week. Next game, New England Patriots at the New York Jets. Drake Maye in the house, man. Big play energy. What more could you say? We're a threat out there.
Concerned about all the injuries, so would like to stay healthy this week.
We got the Jets, though. Not worried about the Jets. Saints took care of the Jets. We can take care of the Jets.
Took care of them at home. Let's take care of them at their place.
First half, bet. New England Patriots -7.5. First half, +105.
Oh, jumping all over them.
Let's get up early. I don't think that. I'm not going to say this for sure, but I don't think the Jets are going to score in the first half. Just saying, just putting that out there. Next game, New York Giants at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Dart guy, man, he's dangerous business, man. That's just risky business. Like insurances probably won't cover him. Like he's he's not getting it. I don't know what else to say. The Raiders played well last week. I was shocked of how they competed. Like they actually showed up, and it was very winnable for them. And Genti had a good game. I think they're going to be all over the Giants in this one. I got Vegas in the first half, -1.5, +120. What can you say about the Giants? Is there an actual resolution to all this, or am I being just tricked by the media into this guy's just taking hits?
Yeah, he's definitely taking hits. Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders because they're at home. These are two bad teams.
Next game, Philadelphia Eagles at the Buffalo Bills. Even when they win, we don't trust it. Is that why there's just drama in Philly?
There's drama in Philly because the Philly fans are crazy.
Is that it? Does it have anything to do? Because they won, and yet I'm still walking away from it being like, there's just something weird with Philly this year, and because it was still weird.
They clinched the NFC East. They should be happy.
Nobody's happy. Does anyone feel happy?
It doesn't feel happy.
Should they be happy to face Buffalo this week?
They're going to have their hands full. I think Buffalo's going to win this week.
I think Buffalo's going to win this week too, but I have no real reason why not. It's just a feeling that I don't like around Philly, but they won again. I mean, Buffalo struggled with Cleveland last week. That wasn't very encouraging.
It's just that at any moment, the Eagles' offense can just stall, and all of a sudden, like the engine falls out of the car, and it takes them, a quarter and a half to put the engine back in.
When everything goes great, it's an excellent tab to pick up. When it's bad, it's very expensive and just not worth it. And I'd rather just roll with Buffalo. I even if it goes bad, I trust it a lot more. I can walk away from it feeling a lot better. Philly could easily win this game and say why. What else could we do? Like other than have better media coverage. Still go with Buffalo. Next game, Chicago Bears at San Francisco 49ers. Are we doing a Chicago shuffle? Is it a Super Bowl shuffle? What are we doing in Chicago right now? We're dancing for sure. What's the ceiling?
They made the playoffs.
Ceiling is the roof?
Ceiling is the roof. They made the playoffs. That's good for them.
I think they're going to win this week. Are they going to beat the Niners?
I'm going with the Niners.
Unseen. I'm going with the Bears.
Unseen.
I'm only going with the Bears because it feels like it's a thing, and at some point you got to buy into it, and I'm buying into it now.
I'll stick with Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey.
Let's see if they get through today. Next game, Los Angeles Rams at the Atlanta Falcons. If I'm them, Puka had a huge game. I have questions. This is just such a sketchy situation. It feels like they had all the time in the world to announce something, and then they announced it, and things happened so fast after that. And it doesn't seem right. And they dealt with it, and they had to deal with it in live, and they still almost had a chance to win. I wouldn't panic about them, but I would certainly not feel good about last week, just purely on refereeing. But the Rams are a good football team, and Atlanta's just not. The ref's going to screw the Rams enough this week to give Atlanta the victory.
No, that'd be really hard.
It'd be really hard.
Kirk, I thought played well last week, but even at home, going against the Rams are looking to get right. So, yeah, I'm going with the Rams. I'd jump on what you said. Puka did have a really good game, just about 50 fantasy points to sink my season. But last week, Puka definitely had a weird week. There were about 3 weird things that went on. None of them were good. And then even after this game, he tweeted blaming the refs, which kind of added on to one of the weird things he had said, in an interview last week, and then deleted it immediately. But as we all know, if you put something on the internet, it doesn't go away. You can't just delete it. Everyone saw it. So just something to monitor. He kind of just hit the scene recently where no one really knows too much about him. So it's just going to be interesting. Just something interesting. It might be one of these weird, he might have one of these weird wide receiver brains that we don't necessarily realize at the time. And then as the years go by, it goes, oh, okay. Yeah, this guy's kind of out there.
Could it be more LA media just putting a microscope on an athlete, and we're just digging places no one ever thought we'd dig and finding out things that no one ever needed to know and that we're all finding out now?
No, because I would say that if you had gone and looked and saw he had some problematic tweets that he did when he was 16, like that's digging, and that's like the microscope LA. But this was him doing live streams recently, something he decided he wanted to do. So yeah, I don't put this as a LA thing. I put this as a he might be out there kind of thing.
More on that later. No. Bets for the week. What are we locking in on?
Mine is Cowboys Commanders under 50.5.
We're going for it. Denver anytime defense. All right. Denver defense anytime touchdown plus 650. You don't even know who the Kansas City quarterback's going to be. Defense is getting a touchdown. Just toss it in. Just drop one in. Just let it happen. NFL bets locked in. All right. College football playoff. My God, do we have a yawning sound? Can I play the most boring? I mean, Bama fun. Bama wins. That was a fun comeback. We got no notes on this.
Really disappointed in Oklahoma. You go up 17-0. You're driving. You have a chance to run for a first down or throw it. Throws it. Guy drops it. What are you going to do? And then just Alabama just destroys them for basically the rest of the game. And I was surprised. It was fun to see in real time all the people that didn't want Alabama in. I was probably one of those people. I didn't take a victory lap, but there's a lot of people that did take victory laps and just have to eat crow immediately. You didn't have to wait a week. All you had to do was wait an hour. It probably wasn't even an hour. It's probably a half an hour. It's like, uh-oh.
The train started rolling, man, and then the tide started coming. Yeah.
One thing that should be mentioned, not to do with the competitiveness of the games, is one of the things that they did get right with the expansion was having these early games, and I probably think that even the next round of games should be at the home campuses. That Oklahoma crowd specifically, it's just that place was rocking. Friday night, it was very cool, and all the other places too. Of you're not traveling and you found out where you're traveling, a few weeks ago, and you're scrambling to get plans. It's no. College kids can stick around, and the place is full. Tailgates, I'm sure, were awesome. That is one thing that they really got right.
This is the one success of the playoff, right? Everybody likes this. They like this part. They get this part right. Miami.
Yeah, no, I really like that.
Miami also getting a win this week.
Cool. If you call it that.
That wasn't a win. What was it? A survival? A punishing watch?
It was practically a soccer game. 0-0 in the first half.
Hey, a win's a win.
Barely score.
Tulane and JMU, they put some points on the board, but you know what? Their season's over.
At least they put some points on the board. Yikes, Texas A&M, what are you doing? 3 points, and then finally it's under 2 minutes, and then they got to score in a hurry. They make it right down the field, and then unfortunately throw a interception in the end zone. But yeah, again, they didn't score very many points. But a noon start, Texas A&M, the 12th man was there in force. That place was rocking. That was really cool to watch on TV.
All right, I love the crowd. Not really much to say about the other games here. They were just blowouts. Oregon dominates JMU, and Tulane, whatever, Ole Miss, blah, blah, blah. Were any of these games great? And the idea of having more of these games worries me. Is it just a fluke? We got the right teams. It doesn't mean the game's always good. Or should we be a little concerned?
Zero concern from me.
Zero concern.
It's going to go up to 16 at some point. Probably soon. Next couple of years. Fine. I don't know if they'll keep doing the buys the same way. But whatever it is, I think that they're going to get rid of the smaller schools. I would prefer that they stay in, because at some point there is going to be an upset, and it's going to be awesome when that happens. It's not going to happen very often. That's why it's an upset. That's why it's exciting. But no, zero concern from me on this.
All right. I mean, there's still a lot of football left. The football we would normally have. I mean, depending how far back in history you want to go, we'd really only get one bowl game, and it'd be the two you decided anyways. Blah blah blah. But we got 4 now. We'll do picks next week.
I say this all of the time. We all have all of the streaming services, all of everything. If you are sitting there and you're not having fun watching the game, watch something else. On Saturday, there were NFL games going on. There were college basketball games going on. There were NBA games going on. It is only your fault if you're just sitting there and you're complaining about this.
No. You want this one on the pod. I would never have any interest in this damn thing. And then they did a playoff, and it said I'd have more interest in it because it's a playoff. So I do what I did about all the other sports I actually care about. I invested time into it, and this was not rewarding. And the next couple of games have a lot of pressure on it, or I'm coming with a very strong opinion into next week's couple podcasts here. But we'll do picks next week because we don't have anything till, what is it, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day? Or just New Year's Day?
It'll be Miami, Ohio State on New Year's Eve, and then we'll have the rest on New Year's Day.
So we'll do that next Monday, next podcast. We'll have picks on that. Anything else from the other games? I mean, there's not really much analysis here.
No. It's to be expected. JMU did cover, put on a little bit of a burst at the end there, but I was confident that Ole Miss was going to handle Tulane.
Moving on. College basketball season is in full swing. I don't think there's any way we don't talk about it, Zach, but there was a huge comeback at MSG this past Saturday where Texas Tech was able to come back against the Duke Blue Devils. Is it the fashion that it happened? Is it the team that it happened to? I think you have to start it all by saying we did like this Texas Tech team last year, and I think we had higher hopes for them this year, and for the most part, they've been very disappointing. But there is still an opinion from last year that remains fairly high on them, and that this is by far the best they have played all year. That being said, I can't walk away from this without saying Duke, man, just couldn't get the stops, man. I know the offense can fall apart, and it's hard in college. It's definitely not consistent, but the fact that you were not able to just lock up on defense, which you're very good defensively, like the fact you couldn't get the stops alone. What's more frustrating? The offense, the defense. You gotta vent on this. It's the only healing you're gonna get. This is why you have a podcast.
I think it's the collapse. It's the collapse in the free throws. So it was not situationally was not as bad as the Final Four last year, but it wasn't 17 points last year either. So it was just you have this lead. Whether it's 17 midway through or it's 6 with 30 seconds to go, you're supposed to be able to just take care of it. And it was a very similar situation. Shot under 60% from the free throw line, missed 12 free throws. That doesn't even count that some of them were the front end of 1-and-1s. And it's so many times in the second half, you look up and it was, oh, we're in control. Texas Tech would make a run. Then Duke would make a run. And again, we're set. Do you remember how many minutes were left when you were looking at it going, all right, time to worry about the spread?
Oh, well, I mean, this got, I'll be honest with you, and I'm not the Duke fan here. You are, and I was not at the game. You were. I thought you were going to crush Texas Tech. Tech has been bad this year, or at least just very disappointing. Depending on your if you want to hold them to a higher standard, they've been bad. The standard that they were at last year, they have been bad this year. But they certainly are capable of playing very well last year, and that could suddenly be awakened right now. Is there any chance that's happening? Can you have a little bit of hope that maybe this team has just been disappointing and it's kind of awakened and it's not as bad of a loss as you truly want? I mean, they're still ranked. It's not impossible.
No, they're a good team. I think they've gotten tripped up a couple of times. I think JT Toppin, I think he's legit. No relation to Obi Toppin, but it kind of looks similar. But yeah, he was definitely a force. I think you can kind of tell that Cam, not that he couldn't handle it, but I don't think I've seen a guy kind of take it to Cam this year where just normally Cam's, bigger, stronger, faster. And still Cam had a good offensive day, except again for the free throws. All we needed to do was make some free throws, even at the very end. The second to last possession, had to make a free throw, couldn't get it done. Did have a chance at the end. I thought Shire drew up a good play. I thought Cam got a good look, little step back. I don't think he even really needed to step back, but A lot of times, especially in college, you don't even get a shot off. So to get an open shot, just rimmed out. But for that game, especially having to be there in person, not great. That part of it, not great. But wasn't the Final Four. It's December. If I'm to step back, if you had asked me in October, hey, would you sign up for being 11-1 going into conference play and your one loss was by 1 point on a neutral site? It's like, sure, yep. We're in a better situation than we were last year. We lost twice last year in tight games. We were actually able to win some close games, this year. So no reason to panic on the Duke side, but definitely shows Shire can show the team. Here's some things we need to work on. Free throws, got to make your free throws.
I don't think it's just free throws. I think it's just close games. You need to play more close games.
Well, how many?
More than
that shouldn't have been a close game. We were up 17. It never should have been a close game.
I agree. And you are a team that I still would pick if you play that matchup over and over again. I think you would win more often than not, if not every single time. You got to be better at the end of the game. Your shot selection was also bad. I know they're fouling you, and you're going to the free throw line, so it's really hard to get into a rhythm. But I didn't like a lot of the possessions. I didn't like the shot at the end. You said they got a shot off. I don't. Look, Cooper Flagg's strength isn't exactly getting the shot off at the end of the shot clock here. His strength is making kind of really good decisions, and I think Cam's kind of similar to that, maybe a little bit more offensively gifted. But the step back three, I don't think there's anybody currently on your team that I like making that move. I mean, if the guy's going to do it, Cam's the guy, so I'm not like questioning that part. I don't think you got a guy like that on your team. It's very different at the end of the game like that, and that's the concerning part about all this.
The ball was at half court, and it was 1.6 seconds. So for me in college, that is, you just have to get a shot off.
Was it the biggest win of the week?
I don't think so.
Because Kentucky's comeback against St. John's was the jolt they needed. St. John's, once again, has a terrible second half. They are not a very good second half team. I sent you some stats on that. They just stopped playing defense. And this might have been Kentucky finally finding the right lineup, finally having the right guys back in the lineup. It definitely has some health concerns that change everything, but this was suddenly an awakened offensive team in the SEC that has a bunch of athletes suddenly clicking. More about Kentucky or more about St. John's?
More about Kentucky. It is interesting how St. John's kind of falters in the second half, and just wondering, Pitino is kind of known for, hey, guys are going to go hard. They were definitely running the press. It's like maybe a soft press, but definitely a press for most of the game. And if the guy's just kind of getting worn out, and if that's something that they're only going to get more worn out, or is it they're building up and they're only going to get better? But no, this is much more on Kentucky. They had a full healthy team. Lowe went out in the first half, and I thought he was in big trouble because he's already had shoulder problems, and when he reached his hand in, it didn't look like it was that much. And what it reminded me of was Brown on Duke last year when he dislocated his shoulder and then re-dislocated it. It didn't take much. It was like that same sort of motion. So I was surprised when he came back. So that was good for them. And yeah, just them being fully healthy now. It makes sense. It's like at all levels of basketball. Once you have your guys able to be in the roles they're supposed to be, I think they had a lot of guys that were playing one or two positions up from where they should be. And now when they're handling of, okay, I'm not the guy that has to handle the scoring. I am the third option now. I think that's gonna help them out. And I think that I think they're good. They're gonna move up. I think they're gonna be better than they showed earlier in the year.
I think Quaidance it's Quaidance, right? Big man.
Yep.
I think he's one of the few guys on this Kentucky roster that makes everyone else's life a lot easier by just being out there. Like, the other guys are good. They got strengths and all that. This guy being back there on defense and just being able to rebound alone, I thought gave everybody else confidence around him by him just being out there. I thought Lowe, the guy with the shoulder problems that came in and out, what crap luck was that on that first play too, where his shoulder just has to be that probably one motion that he was like, you'll be fine. Just don't do this one lift up and you'll be fine. It was the first play. You could tell it was painful.
Right away.
Just the immediate reaction was like, oh, that's obviously not 100% healed. But he did play, and he did play well in the second half. and I thought the lineup moved the best with him out there. Do you think that shoulder is getting better? Is it going to hold up? Are you trusting it going forward?
It's a concern. I don't know what I don't think there's anything you can really do, but you got to hope for the best.
All right, what's on our radar this week? Do we got more college games?
Well, we got a couple games from last week. I'd say if you don't think the UK win was the biggest one, I think it might be Tennessee. Tennessee just blew the doors off of Louisville. It was Tuesday, so it feels like it was like a long time ago, but that was still part of the week. Houston beat Arkansas. The game ended up being single digits, but I know when I kind of checked on it when I was going down to the city, looked like Houston was absolutely handling them. And then Vanderbilt just took care of Wake Forest yesterday. They jumped all over them, and that game wasn't close. Unfortunately for college basketball, we just talked about all the football, and we know that there's, of course, NBA Christmas games. But for college basketball, biggest game is going to be Villanova at Seton Hall tomorrow, and then after that, there's really not much for college basketball this week. Everyone's basically taking the week off. There are no games. Christmas Eve, Christmas, the day after Christmas, and there is one game that Saturday. So it's basically 4 days of no college basketball.
I guess that just cues in the NBA talk. We have a new NBA Cup champion for this year, the New York Knicks.
Hang the banner.
They will not hang the banner. That's a conversation. There's actually lots to talk about here. There's not really a lot to talk about at the game of the analysis. Having Wemby back is just great. I don't think there's anything more to say to that. I don't really want to talk about the X's and O's of the game. I want to talk about whether or not they should hang the banner. Are you for the banner or against the banner? Are you making fun of them either way? Because you don't care.
I am making fun of them either way.
Yeah,
they haven't won a championship since the 70s. So I like to joke, does it go up with the ones from the 70s? You put it next to Billy Joel or the Harry Styles one? Or, where's the banner go up there? Luckily, there's a lot of room, so they can put it wherever they want. The other Cup champions have put up banners. They decided not to. But no, I'm going to play basketball tonight. I'm gonna, a lot of Knicks fans, so I'm gonna warmly congratulate them on their very huge title. A lot of them weren't all of them basically weren't alive for the last title. So this has got to be really big for them.
So you wouldn't, if the Celtics won, no banner.
No banner. You kidding me? You gonna have a parade too?
I think you should hang the banner.
Yeah, Atlantic Division champions. Yeah, you win a Christmas Day game, hang a banner, sure. Celebrate your wins.
It's going to have more value going forward in the long run. This isn't a good trend. We want people to value the cup. It's a meaningless thing, but we want them to value it. This is completely devaluing it just because of an attitude like yours. It's fine, though. It's all right. Would the relocation of this change anything for all that? Because everyone seems to think Vegas is dead and that was part of the lack of the environment here, and that they are going to get a better environment at a potential college campus, of which it wouldn't even be one game at a college campus. It would be one game at one, and then the next night at another one, is what I'm hearing into the proposal of all this. Does that interest you at all, or is it still, yeah, whatever?
This is so silly. It's so silly. The NBA, they don't get it. They don't understand college basketball. They gotta talk to people that actually like college basketball and not just from afar. They don't get it. They already tried this, or they're trying, or I guess they're doing this, in-season tournament. So they're kind of doing a European model, but then also knowing, college, they do this single elimination tournament and people go crazy for it. It's yeah, okay. Part of it is a single elimination that they're getting right, but most of this, they do, it's all the cup play, and you got that going on, which has nothing to do with similar to college. What we really like about March Madness is those first 2 days, there's just wall-to-wall basketball. Now, the NBA can't really do that. There's not as many teams, so fine, but that's kind of more of the main thing that we like, more than the single elimination at that early point of it. Now, the second part, they're going, you know what's awesome about college? It's the fans. The college fans are really good, and they just go nuts. If you go to Fog Allen and there's no game on, it's not just this magical place that everyone's just excited for a game. You don't get the Kansas fans that just come with it if you have the Spurs versus the Knicks.
Why does it need to be Kansas fans? Why does it need to be those
No,
fans? You can't just be basketball fans?
No, but that's what I'm saying, at Fog Allen.
Yeah, I know.
So if it was at Cameron Indoor, you don't get the crazies. The crazies aren't showing up. It's the fans that make the atmosphere.
It's an NBA game. We don't need the crazies. We need the NBA crazies. I'd show up. That sounds cool. I don't want to go to see an actual Duke game, but I would love to see an NBA game played at Duke. That sounds like a really good loophole for someone like me. You don't think there's more people like me? There's probably not, but there might be.
There is no way that you would be able to get a ticket to Cameron Indoor. 9,000 seats. A lot of these places, I mean, Duke specifically, because I was just there, it was built 100 years ago. Like, the seats are teeny tiny. NBA fans, like the type of people that are paying, because it's going to be a crazy price, because it's not a normal size, arena. They're not going to get this atmosphere that they're anticipating.
You just solved it. The economics. Right now. You just did it. And you're right here. You just argued it all. Go ahead. Sorry.
What do you mean?
Why are they doing it? Why are they doing it?
No. But then on top of it,
there's limited tickets there. Is what you said, right? There's not that many seats.
The NBA infrastructure does not want to go to a college town. All of these colleges, or a majority of them, are not near the major cities. So you're not flying into Vegas. Vegas is easy to get to. You're flying into Raleigh, Durham, a smaller regional airport. They're not prepared to be hosting it's not an all-star game, but a big premier game of all the reporters that are going to show up and all the fans that are going to show up.
It's exclusive. Even more exclusive. You know how you make it special? You make less people have the capability of doing it. It doesn't have to be anything.
You want to send NBA players to Chapel Hill?
Just for one night, of which it doesn't really matter, and they get to hang a banner after. I only say it doesn't matter in the sense that it actually doesn't count towards the record, because it doesn't.
I'm sticking with it that you're going to have to keep doing this to create the tradition, to make it so people care about it. And, the longer you do it, the tradition, that should work. But to try to soup this up and just go to college campuses thinking that these legendary places and you put NBA people there and that it's going to have the same feel for it, I don't think that's going to work.
I think this cup can be played anywhere, and they're just looking for cool locations. If there was a cool place to play on top of the world somewhere, they would play there. They think these college campuses are cool, so they're like, why rule them out? You don't think it would be cool? All right, fine. Yeah, does it make it easier? Does they do the same damn thing? Yeah, they're trying to make this different. And you have so many problems with everything that's different about it, because it's just different for the sake of being different. And now when we do something different that could be in your favor, you're just like, no, why would we do that? It's because we could do anything. Because we could do anything. It's a college involvement. They don't have to involve these teams. You don't think that's cool to have it at Cameron Indoor? You wouldn't want to see the Celtics in Cameron?
Not really.
Why not?
Because Cameron Indoor is so far away. You know what's way closer? Boston. We were just talking about for the college playoffs. What's very cool about the expansion is that the home team hosts the game.
Yeah, but this isn't the playoffs.
Where all the fans are.
This is the cup. This is trying to make the meaningless regular season games be special, and that's what this is. It's a unique, special thing. It's not any different. I'm with you.
It's a gimmick. It's
exclusive.
I guess if you're playing at these smaller arenas, I think it would be funny if they said that that's what they were doing, and then they said, yeah, we're going to play at St. John's Arena.
Yeah, we're at Rucker Park. That's what we're going to have bleachers.
No, I meant St. John. I meant MSG.
Yeah. I got you. I thought Rucker Park would be fun too. If we're just
in December,
exclusive.
Again, who wants it exclusive?
It's that they don't have to follow any rules. That you want to follow such a simple guideline here. We could shrink it down. You want to be in a smaller box, that's fine. I don't think this is that far out of the box. I understand it doesn't have much of a point behind it, but it doesn't have to. It could just be whatever it wants.
I guess. I think they're going to be very disappointed.
And compared to what? Compared to what this year? You still didn't like it this year.
No, I think the NBA will be disappointed.
Maybe. I think they're disappointed they have so many games that nobody cares until the next year anyways. Like, this thing starts in October.
Maybe maybe I'm wrong on this, but I mean, there's still a lot. Like, I am one of the, I feel like in the smaller group that is into college and the NBA. I think that there's still mostly you are one or the other. So I'm just trying to imagine they say, hey, we're not going to do it in Vegas, but we still want to do it at a big arena. So we're going to do it, at Rupp. And then you got a bunch of NBA guys that go and look and find out, okay, my team won. I'm going to be in the championship. So I have a week or, a few days to book this and find out, okay, so I got to fly into Louisville and then drive from there. And how far is the drive? And go, no, this isn't worth it. And now you're like playing in Rupp, and for sure it's unique, but you still don't have like a full crowd. And you got a bunch of Kentucky fans not there because they're like, I don't want to watch the NBA. I mean, maybe if Cat's there, maybe if you got some, Kentucky, alumni. But I think just in general, I don't think they're interested in watching the NBA. They're interested in watching Kentucky play.
So there's not as many seats, and the fans that you think they want there won't be there. So you don't think they'll sell out?
Well, Rupp is the same size as an NBA arena.
So you're worried about tickets. You don't think they'll be able to sell out an NBA Cup game at Rupp?
I don't think so.
All right. I disagree.
And even if they do, you're not going to get this like raucous college.
It doesn't have to be a ruckus. It has nothing to do with the crowd. It's the location. You think the crowd comes with it? I understand it's two separate things. It's that they can have an NBA game at a location they've never been able to have an NBA game before, and it's just cool. It's just cool. It doesn't need to make sense.
We'll put that on the quote card. It doesn't need to make sense.
There's no tradition. It could just be new. You want to put this thing in a box that you don't even care about. It could be a bigger box. It could be anything. We could play in Europe. You want to play in Mexico? You want to play on an island? We could play in Hawaii.
No, I don't want to play in any.
We'll play in space. We'll do it. We'll do it in Fast and Furious 15. That'll be a huge feature. The NBA Cup in space with Vin Diesel.
It just seems like you have your fans of the teams, and you're moving them. You're moving these games farther away from those fans.
I don't think so. I think those fans are going anywhere. I think they're looking for something new, something more exclusive. If you have enough of an interest to go to these NBA games, which a lot of these places sell out, a lot of these tickets are extraordinarily expensive. They're not easy to get to as is. They're certainly easier than what you mentioned, but I'm saying those people are willing to do the same adventure. If that's what it takes, they've gotten harder places, man. There's harder places to travel than everything we just said. It's not impossible. There's airports, there's trains, there's rental cars, there's Ubers, there's all these public transportation ways that there's a way to get around it, and it'll happen. I don't doubt it. I think they're going to be playing at a college campus very, very soon, if not next year. I wouldn't be shocked by that at all. What I am shocked by, and maybe you're shocked by this as well, is the Minnesota Timberwolves and Kevin Garnett seem to have made up and have not only reunited and seem to have made a deal of having him part of the organization. It appears that they are going to go forward with his jersey retirement. I would have thought this is never going to happen. Are you shocked by this? Like, what am I misreading about this? I almost feel like we missed the opportunity to put him in our organization because I didn't think he had a relationship with Minnesota.
I'm not surprised because Timberwolves have new ownership. So not Durant, Garnett and the old ownership didn't get along, and it was really sad because it's like how you're the Wolves until very, very recently. You did not have any success except for when Garnett was there, and for wherever the fallout was, and it seemed like he was interested in being a part of the organization, and they were not willing to budge on it. But now they got new owners. Like, why is Alex Rodriguez being a jerk?
Yeah.
No, that all makes sense now.
All right, so it's all good. I will look forward to this. I think that'll be fun. Can we bring back other Timberwolves? Who's going to be at the retirement ceremony? Was there anyone you would like to see there with Garnett for the Minnesota Timberwolves jersey retirement?
I mean, get Cassell there.
You want Sam there? I think Sam should be there.
I mean, he might be busy. He's on the Celtics coaching staff, but
I know it's a bit of a different.
He's the first one that comes to mind.
Bit of a different era, but I think they're still friends, and it's probably been long enough. I mean, is Marbury too far of a name on there just out of support for Garnett, or is he a little too far fetched? I don't know. We'll see. I think this is good news. This is exciting. This is good for Kevin. I'm happy for him. It's always been unfortunate. Everybody's been on his side, and everybody understands. And we've come a long way to the point where here we are. It's happening. Any other NBA news you want to get to?
The Lakers lost to the Clippers. I don't know how, but I just want that noted.
For the record, you got it, buddy.
Yeah, for the record, yeah.
No problem. Is that the new show? For the record? That's probably already a podcast. Somebody's got that, right?
Must have that.
Is it a music show? For the record?
Ooh, look at this guy.
Long time podcasting. I still don't like doing this part, but remember to subscribe. Little column A, little column B, wherever you get your podcast. We're on Spotify, YouTube, Podbean. Where else are we, Zach? We're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere. And you can follow Zach on his X account, which is
Wicked Z-Man 24.
I'm getting excited. Holiday season. Shout out to everybody. Well, we're getting closer to March Madness. It's going to be the next year. Conference tournaments. Are you ready?
I'm not ready.
Are you sure?
I'm not ready. Conference play hasn't even started, and I love March Madness, my favorite, but that means that the season's over, and it still seems like the season has just started. So I don't want to jump too far ahead of myself. I gotta pace myself. But yeah, never fun when your team loses and then has a feels like a forever break. Yeah, can't wait to get back on the court and see the boys play.
I think it's such a pause in the NFL season with this extra week at this point, where my fantasy championships are happening this week because the last week of the season is always such a sloppy week that everybody learned to push it up ahead. But now this week is a holiday week, and the games are spread out all over the place. I mean, Sunday we only got 2 4:00 games. This could be a really
1.5.
Really, this could be
Giants,
a rough
Raiders.
This could be a rough fantasy championship roller coaster for me, is what I'm saying. All right, where I am stressed day after day, and it's not just one day where it all happens at once. It's a little bit of that way, and a little bit of that day, and it could still be alive by this day. And I don't know if I'm ready for it. I'm going to be in one championship. Will you be in one?
Yes, I'll be in one championship. Puka sunk me in one, and then Lamar getting hurt sunk me a chance in a second one. So, yes, I will be in the championship in one.
Staying alive. Hopefully, some success stories. We'll be back next Monday. And remember to subscribe. Little column A, little column B. Anything else for the people out there?
Celtics are on a 2-game winning streak. Let's hope we can get another win tonight and keep this thing rolling.
Go Seas.
Little column A, little column B.